Hello everyone, this is Rabab Alma, licensed marriage and family therapist and international life coach. Our topic for today is where is your power? So while people are joining us, I would go ahead and join and share my life with my other pages. Let me know what you think of this topic. Where is your power? Is it relevant? What does power mean to you? And where are you contacting me from? Or where are you joining me from? Which city, which state, and which country? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my life. Again, the topic for today is where is your power? What does that word mean to you? Is it important to have your power? Is it not? What is it about power that intrigues you or annoys you? So let me share my life with my other pages. And I thought it's an important topic because we often feel powerless and we feel that we don't have control. And I think it's important to, or I thought it's important to shed a light on this topic. And I prepared a couple of points here. So it's common for us to relinquish our power and just give it away for whatever reason. And then it becomes a habitual cycle of disempowerment. So, for instance, we say to ourselves, I didn't get that job that I wanted, or my relationship is falling apart, or my health is really bad, and I can't seem to have enough money. So we keep telling ourselves these negative comments, and actually we don't know that by saying that we are actually relinquishing our power. So what is it? What is power? So I have a note here that power is ultimately the ability to create a desired result. It's the ability to attract and create circumstances that leads to our gain. And that builds our sense of power. However, some people are afraid of that power. They have fear because it can maybe perpetuate negative consequences. So someone says here, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So it's our light, not our darkness. So we know that we have power. What we think of, what we feel, we can create in our life. Even religiously or spiritually, some of religious teachings talk about that God says, I am at my servant expectations. So some people believe in some religious teachings that whatever we expect, you get. And that's powerful. And some people feel afraid of that because that means, okay, how about if I expect something bad? That means it's going to happen. Then let me shut all of this down, the good and the bad, because it's so scary and so powerful. So why some people give their power away? Because one of the reasons is that because we are afraid of taking responsibility. Because the more power we have, whether it's financial, whether it's a position, whatever it is, then this comes with a higher level of responsibility. And the more we feel responsible, sometimes this comes with a feeling of inadequacy and powerlessness. So the power comes with responsibility, higher level of responsibility and higher level of choices. We can make more choices and we can take more decisions, and that can be scary. So there are certain ways to know how we are giving our power away. Look around in your life or the people around you and see, try to detect these signs. Is there any sign of addiction? Food, shopping, technology, iPhone, iPad, all of this stuff, all the time, drugs, TV shows, pets, sex, whatever it is. All of this addictions are actually, we are giving our power away to external things. And we are allowing these things to take over our lives. So the underlying belief, we want to explore the underlying beliefs underneath these actions. What is it that we believe? What are we looking forward to fix? What is it? What is it that we are distracting ourselves from? By eating, by shopping, by watching TV, what is it that we really need to do or face or confront that we don't want to do? So number one is addiction. And sometimes people don't want to admit that or label that as an addiction. I just like it. I just enjoy it. We all do that. Number two, repetitive relationship patterns. So we see that we are getting into the same relationships and scenarios over and over and over. Different names, different faces, but the same patterns. And when we find ourselves in these situations, we need to pause and take a step back and think about it. What is it that we are putting out in the world that is bringing that to us? So the pattern shows up as maybe blame, resentment, over-dependence, whatever it is. What is it that we are looking for the other person to fulfill for us? What are we looking forward to have from the other person? So we need to explore and to be self-aware of what's happening, why we keep repeatedly creating the same type of relationships. What's going on? And we need to take responsibility of that. No one else will do that for us. So we talked about addiction, repetitive relationships patterns. Third, financial challenges. We're having the same problem, the same financial problem over and over again. What is it that we are feeling powerless about? Are we afraid of wealth? Are we afraid of abundance? What is it that we are really afraid of? Whatever it is it is a reflection of how powerful or powerless we feel. 4, health issues. So whenever we feel pain or dis-ease, so disease, it's actually dis-ease. So what is it that's happening inside of us that make us lose our life energy, our power, our ability to do things? What is the belief? What is it behind that, underneath this, that's happening to us over and over again? We need to explore that. 5, depression. Depression when we feel out of control of our lives. So we actually direct this anger and resentment towards ourselves. A depressed person is actually suppressing their power and controlling what they can control by feeling nothing. This is their way, or the depressed person way of control. So let's think about it for a second. Let me know what you feel about this. Does that make sense to you? Is it something that you might relate to? I think it's important to take a look and see what is it in our life that actually resemble the relinquish of control. Let me repeat this again. So ways for you to know that you are giving your power away. Addiction, repetitive relationship patterns, financial challenges, health issues, and depression. I remember reading that book, You Can Heal Your Life, and by the author Louise Hay. So she has a grid in the middle of this book, and she actually correlates every physical symptom with an emotion. And I use this book, I read it, and every time I feel any physical pain, I try to read through to see what is that feeling that might be associated with that pain. And most of the time I can relate to what's on that grid. I think it's important to know the feeling that's actually triggering that physical symptom. It's important to understand that, to be self-aware. What is it that we are that's manifesting these kind of symptoms? So you can reclaim your power. We want to look inside of us and see which part of me does not want to grow up, and realize how powerful I am. So we want to know that the act of giving your power away, that started at a young age. So you want to think back and think of that younger version of you and invite yourself to understand what's going on so you can make a different choice. So think of, when did you start to relinquish your control and give your power away? When was the first time? That might require some journaling. And again, I want to interject here, these videos and lives are not meant for medical or mental health advices or professional help. If you need professional help, please seek it with professionals. Those videos are just for general info and general tips. But I am suggesting here to you, and to myself of course, to look back at your younger version, this young version of you. When did you decide, not necessarily consciously, it might happen subconsciously, when did you decide to relinquish that power? And what was the reason? Why? Again, that might require journaling and writing and exploring. And it might require also professional help. But a lot of people can do it on their own. So I've written down here 9 ways to actually keep your personal power, or to regain your personal power. Number 1, we don't want to waste our energy complaining. So we don't want to wait and just vent. Venting sometimes is good to vent, but if we are not drawing positive conclusions and we are not drawing positive actions, then we are just repeating the same patterns and actually speaking them out loud, so we will receive them back. We need to have, when we talk about our problems, we need to have meaningful conversations, positive outcomes, changes to our lives. Second, we want to accept responsibility for how we feel. So we don't want to let others behaviors, words dictate our emotions. So I don't want to say my friend made me feel this, or my classmate made me feel that, or this person made me feel this, or that person. We want to take ownership of our own our emotions, and we want to take our power back. So we want to control how we feel. We don't want to let others dictate how we feel. 3, we want to establish healthy boundaries. And I do talk about boundaries in every single life because I think it's extremely important to hold healthy boundaries. So we don't want to give up or give in to guilt trips, or for instance, to speak up for ourselves, defend ourselves. We want to be able to stand up for ourselves. We want to be in charge of how we feel, or what we want, what we don't want. We want to be able to say no. We don't have to be rude or mean, but we can say no. We want to establish healthy physical and emotional boundaries. And I think we feel when something is not right. It's like we have this gut feeling something is not right about this conversation, about this encounter, about this event. Something is not right. And I think it's important for us to recognize and to acknowledge those feelings, not to brush them away. We want to be in control of how we want to spend our time. We don't want things to be imposed on us. We want to be in control of how we spend our time and with whom. Number 4, we want to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is never about the person who hurt us. It's about us, letting go of the pain. Taking our power back. It's not, forgiveness is not about saying that whatever the person did to us is okay. It's never about that. It's about us letting go, liberating ourselves from this pain and the hurt and the anger. It's about us. And forgiveness is not also about letting that person back in your life. If someone hurt me, then I have the right to forgive or not. But if I want to take my power back, then I want to forgive. And it does not mean that I will allow that person back in my life. Once we start forgiving, we start to enjoy life. We start to be in control of ourselves, emotions, and our life. 5, and I will repeat these 9 points at the end. You want to know your value. You don't want to be the helpless passenger in your life. You want to be the confident driver of your own life. So you want to take initiatives. You want to make decisions. You want to decide what you want to do or what you don't want to do. You want to acknowledge your value so you know what's important for you. Write it down. Write down your value. Write down what you think of yourself, the positive things of yourself. And if you can't, find a professional or a close friend or someone who is honest, who tells you the truth to your face, and write it down. Write down, what did you accomplish? What are the positive facts about you? And keep them close to you so you can go back to them. You want to know your value. And you want to hold it close to your heart. Number 6, you don't want to waste time on unproductive thoughts. So for instance, You go to work from 9 to 5 and you then come back and waste another 2-3 hours thinking about how much I hate my job and I don't want to go back. So wasting actually, so there is 8 hours of work and there is the commute, add maybe 2 hours to it, and maybe other 2 hours thinking about and dreading the next day. So those are like, I don't know, 12 hours. So we want to control our unproductive thoughts. And I believe 2 sessions ago I had an interview with Jessica Bovelka, and she talked about meditation and mindfulness and being in the present moment, and try to shift that, our thoughts, our thinking. Try to understand how we feel, what we want, what we're thinking. And take our power back so we actually pursue the life that we want and we deserve. And that also goes into the second point, the next point that I have. Avoid language that implies you are a victim. So people will say, I'm a failure, I'm ugly, I don't know what to do. All of this that we tell ourselves. We keep saying to ourselves over and over and over, and we are actually perpetuating the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same events. We always have choices. If I view myself as successful, I will be successful, and it might take time, but I will achieve that result. This is a fact. If someone sees themselves as successful, as abundant, as wherever they see themselves, they will achieve it if they put the thought, the feeling, and the time and the effort. We can't just sit back and say, I want to be successful, and do nothing about it. We want to think it and feel it and act it. Unless those 3 are aligned, then we are not going to get results. No one is going to bring the results to our lives, ourselves, except for us. And we always have choices. And if you don't take an action, it's a choice. It's a choice. Number 8, make self-worth independent of other people's opinion. So we often seek other people's opinions. What do they think of this? Do I look nice? Do I look good? Is this good? No, what do you think? What do you think? So self-worth should be independent of other people's opinion, because if we're gonna follow people's opinions, then we're not gonna get to where we want. We are actually giving our power away. Zara, thank you for joining me. Sahar, thank you, Sahar, for joining. So yes, so self-worth should be and must be dependent on holding ourselves with high regard. So if we are waiting for someone else's opinion, then we become people pleaser. I want to do what this will be happy, and that will be happy with me, and this will tell me something nice. People's opinions of us, whether it's good or bad, should change nothing of our feelings towards ourselves. If they have something good to say, thank you, you appreciate it. But this does not sway you from the track you are on. If they have something bad, that's fine. This is their opinion. But this should not distract us from what our focus on. What we are focused on, what's our goal, what we want to do, our value, our self-worth, our power. It should not. When we receive criticism, okay, if it's positive, then we can take it, we can look into it and kind of like make changes if it's warranted. But we don't take it personal. But when someone just gives us criticism and we just listen to that and change what we feel and what we think about, then this is a problem then. We cannot let people determine our self-worth. Our self-worth should come from within. Number 9, be willing to stand out from the crowd. So self-doubt and fear can lead us to blend with those around us because we're afraid to stand out. So we want to hide. We want to, despite the fear, we want to keep going. We want to keep moving. We want to trust that we are mentally and physically strong and we can dare to be different. Regardless, we need to focus on what we want and we want to take our power back. So those are 9 points. I'm repeating them. Or actually, I'm going to repeat also the 5 things that, the signs that we are giving our power away. Addiction, any kind of addiction, any level of addiction. Repetitive relationship patterns. Financial challenges. Health issues. Depression and anxiety. How? And there are tips. I have 9 tips to reclaim our power now. First, so we don't want to waste our energy complaining. We want to accept responsibility for how we feel. We want to establish healthy boundaries. We want to practice forgiveness for our own sake, not the other person's sake. And this does not mean that we want to let them in our life again. This is very important. 5, know your value. 6, don't waste time on unproductive thoughts. When you see yourself wondering about things that's unproductive, shift your thinking back. Avoid, number 7, avoid language that implies that you are a victim. You have the power to get yourself out of that situation. Number 8, make your self-worth independent of other people's opinions. No matter how people think of you, you are solid. You know what you want. You're focused. It doesn't matter how people feel or think of you. And when I say about people, I mean close people or non-close people, including sometimes family members. Number 9, be willing to stand out from the crowd. So we all have the ability and the choice to take our power back if we decide to do so. No one is going to get us out of the situation we are in except for us. We need to work on multiple tracks. Spiritual track, thinking, focusing, physical track, our mental health, our physical health, our surroundings, our boundaries, the people we spend time with. If we spend most of the time with complainers, we're going to complain. If we spend our time with people who are successful, people who want to succeed, who are driven, you're going to be the same way. So it's your choice. Which one do you want to be? You can decide right now. And see, think with me, how you think for a second, okay? If you imagine that I want to have a big house, I want to be happy, I want to have strong faith, I want to be successful, I want to be a wonderful teacher, I want to be an amazing mother, I want to be an amazing, whatever it is. Imagine those thoughts and try to think about it and imagine it and how you feel about these thoughts. Because positive thoughts manifest with feelings. You choose. Do you want to have positive thoughts or negative ones? Because you are manifesting each. It's your choice which one you want to go by. You have the power. And remember, for people who have this spiritual foundation, or people who want to be like follow this spiritual or religious guideline, that God is at his servant expectation. So wherever route you want to take, it will lead you to where you want to go. But you want to manifest it first. Feel it, think it, and act it. Thank you, Sahar, for your nice, positive comments. I appreciate it. And Diab also, thank you. So, if you like this video, please hit like, share it, subscribe to the YouTube. I will download it on my YouTube channel so you can subscribe to it. I appreciate that you're watching and joining me, and thank you for your time, and I hope you like it, and have a wonderful evening and blessed and powerful week. Thank you. Bye.